Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Bounce Back Stronger. In my most recent video, I shared an interview with Jim Carrey where he introduced two very key and resonating concepts. One of them being the idea of deep rest and listening to our body when it tells us basically, hey, something is wrong. We're going to jump into that concept. That's the second concept. The first concept that we'll cover though is the idea of playing a character, playing a part, and appearing to be free of concern for the sake of others. And I think that's also a very fascinating concept, which could be helpful for others, but it could really mess with your own psyche if you don't think about it. And I think it's a really great concept, and we're about to delve into it. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we're going to delve right into this interview. So again, here we're going to discuss that first concept of playing a character and playing a character free of concern for the sake of others.
I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern. And then at a certain point you go like, okay, well, that's great.
And just notice the sarcasm. It's almost like there's pain in his voice. It's like he's almost happy he's made other people free of concern, but there was an emotional toll.
But it's like the one thing, like people talk about depression all the time. The difference between depression and sadness is just, from happenstance. Whatever happened or didn't happen for you, or, grief or whatever it is. And depression is your body saying, fuck you, I don't want to be this character anymore.
Okay, and that's a very powerful concept, and that just sums up concept number one perfectly. When you play a character that's free from concern for a long period of time, whether that be for other people or to stroke your own ego, so you can, let's say you want to be a playboy, you don't really agree with the philosophy of being a playboy, but you're like, I just really want to play this character. I want to become this person, show off to other people, show them I can get laid, I can do all these things. That's great, and for a period of time, you could just fall in love with this character. However, the risk is if that's not in line with your own beliefs, if that's not in line with how you see the world, it can really backfire. And, that's just one example, but that's what I believe Carrey's trying to get across here. If your body dislikes your body, your psyche dislikes what you've been doing up to this point, eventually you could reach a point where it just goes F you, like he said, and it shuts down. And that's the difference between temporary sadness, like, oh man, I've had a bad day, like my boss yelled at me, my girlfriend broke up with me, something like that. Or girlfriend breaking up is a little bit more extreme, but let's say like you just got in a big fight with your girlfriend. That's a lot different than entering a deep state of depression. And we're going to get into that concept of deep rest. So I like to think now more positively about depression. So we're going to dive into that concept about deep rest. But obviously there's going to be that initial pain and confusion because we just don't know why we're suddenly sad for a prolonged period of time.
I don't want to hold up this avatar that you've created in the world. It's too much for me.
Right.
And so a friend of mine who's a spiritual teacher has a really good take. His name is Jeff Foster, and his take on it is that they should change. You should think of the word of depressed as deep rest.
Yes, and this is a very empowering concept. I encourage people to start thinking about depression in this way. That, hey, you messed up, you pissed off your body, you pissed off your psyche, but it's almost like it's not necessarily your body's trying to punish you per se. It's just giving you an extreme wake-up call. You haven't listened to its past warnings, and now out of desperation, it's forcing you into a state of deep rest. And let's hear what Jim Carrey has to say about this.
Deep rest. Your body needs to be depressed. It needs deep rest from the character that you've been trying to play.
Right.
The great and powerful Oz. I'm the great and powerful Oz. How dare you come near me? Kind of thing. And you're just the sweaty guy behind the curtain going.
Yeah, and how powerful is that, guys? Like just that analogy again, the metaphor of a great, powerful Oz. That's who we think we are a lot of times. Like, oh man, I'm untouchable. No matter what I do, even if I mess up, I'm going to bounce back. And of course, the name of the channel is Bounce Back Stronger. That's what we want to do. However, if you're so wrapped up with this character you've been playing or characters, you could just forget who you really are, what your own values are, and you could just fall apart. And you're gonna need a deep rest, like Jim Carrey said. So it's actually, like I said, very positive. It's depression doesn't necessarily need to be a tragic thing. It could be an opportunity once you get out of that really low bottom. Anyone who's been through depression knows what I'm talking about. Once you're able just to get out of that bottom, and you're able to start thinking at least a little bit more positively, this will definitely accelerate that thinking, that the idea that, hey, this is an opportunity for me to build myself back up. I'm using this opportunity of deep rest to grow stronger and get better.
It's an amazing metaphor, in that movie.
Yeah, he said so himself, just advertising that. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. Obviously,
His
Carrie
take.
is just a great comedian, great person in general, and there's a lot of knowledge he's given us in this video today. And please just share your own thoughts on this topic, what you guys think of this concept of playing a character for the sake of others, for the sake of our own egos, the consequences that could have on us, and how we kind of turn the consequences of that from a negative into a kind of positive. The idea that, hey, depression isn't necessarily a punishment, but it's an opportunity for us to rest deeply and to recover and reanalyze who we are, and you know who we really want to be in life. So just share your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. Later, guys.